Want to know that probably the number one thing that destroys relationships? You know, the statistics from like scientists and researchers say it's like financial issues and all this stuff and stress. It's not. There's something that they can't measure, but there is one absolute killer of relationships, and it's probably ended all of your previous relationships, all of mine, everyone that you see around you. It starts with the same core problem. And then, you know, it's like, oh, the financial stress is annoying us now, we're gonna get a divorce, okay, fine. But there's one main issue that causes all relationships to break, and it's depolarization. Depolarization is when a man and a woman start to become too similar, equals, and soon enough, they're more like friends than they are lovers. Because when you met, you were so mysterious to her and she was so exciting for you. There was so much energy, so much newness to your relationship. And it is extremely rare to carry this on for the long term. Imagine that first date that you had with, you know, a girl who becomes your girlfriend or your wife, and how nerve-wracking it was and how like exhilarating it was to be in each other's companies, and you probably didn't even have any thoughts in your mind. Is it like that once you've spent 100 hours, 500, 1,000 hours together? Depolarization is when a masculine man and a feminine woman start to become too close to each other, and sometimes it even goes the opposite way, and the masculine man starts to become a lot more feminine, the woman becomes a lot more masculine. To stay polarized is such a beautiful thing, because that is where you stay as a masculine, mysterious, strong man, and she stays as a beautiful feminine woman. And this is so rare. You know why? Because this is very, very important, honestly. I hope, you know, this sounds like a bit, you know, weird, or just trust me, I'll explain now. You know why this depolarization happens? Why couples get depolarized? Familiarity. Too much time together. In the modern day, it's seen as so normal to have this desire to spend all day with your partner. That's seen as like healthy, and it seems like a good thing, right? Until you start to compare it to every relationship of every couple up until 100 years ago. The man used to be out of the house, away from his woman, for hours and hours and hours. Sometimes days and days and weeks and weeks and months and months and months. I like to relate everything back to our natural, like, caveman days, like, you know, evolutionary stuff. Where you just sat in the cave with her every single day, just looking at the cave painting, like, oh, just like friends? No, because you needed to go get food. So you got up, you trained every day, you became more and more athletic, and then you went out on the hunt, and she genuinely did not know if you were coming back. And you were gone for maybe hours sometimes days. Think about that right now. I know it's like, you know, that seems silly, caveman, but just really think, okay, just genuinely think if that was reality. If we were cavemen, you're in the cave right now with your woman. You can't even like speak English, but you can communicate in the language of love. And it is wild and passionate at the times that you have together. Animalistic. And it's time for you to go hunt. And she's dreading this moment because she's terrified. She doesn't know what's gonna happen, but she believes in you, and you go. You leave that cave, and she's just sat there a little bit anxious, maybe a lot anxious, just waiting for you. And imagine that moment after she's been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, scared by herself, that you return with a massive boar on your shoulders. Imagine how your woman would look at you then. Imagine, you know, that instant presence of love. As soon as you'd look eyes into her, how different would your energy be? How passionate would you be with your woman at that kind of moment when you've just disappeared for hours, maybe days? Genuinely think she's been, like, literally imagine that. She has literally woken up, went about the entire day and gone to sleep when you went out for the hunt. She has no idea where you are. She has hope that you're coming back, but she isn't actually that certain. And then you return victorious. Do you think you're gonna feel depolarized after that? Do you think that you're just gonna go sit down and watch some Netflix or some cave painting after that? Or do you think you're gonna drop the board down and walk straight over there and passionately ravish her straight away? And yeah, oh, caveman, okay, obviously it's like a silly example, but the modern day isn't that different, because you could go to war, metaphorically. You could leave the house, you could leave the area, you could go and do something exciting where she is waiting for you. It's destroyed this familiarity between you two. It has skyrocketed the mysteriousness inside of you. And then you come back and you are so polarized, so different from each other, so much energy and passion built up inside of you, that may be one of the best things for your relationship ever. And so if you compare what you've just imagined of this like caveman relationship to how couples these days are when they live together and they go to sleep next to each other reading the same book, and then they wake up and they kiss each other, and then they're watching Netflix, and it sounds so cute. It's so cute, isn't it? But then they do that tomorrow as well, and the day after, and the day after. And yeah, okay, the man goes to work, and maybe the woman does too, but the woman kind of knows, yeah, he'll be home at 6:30, and sometimes he's home at 6:45 because, oh wow, the traffic today. But they are very familiar with each other, and depolarization stems from familiarity.